guys happy to get out of the house for once?
Jade's tail swishes back and forth under her striped skirt as she takes a great big sniff of the fresh outside air. It's early evening on the outskirts of the Troll Kingdom. One by one, neon bright windows are lighting up on the heights in the distance. Karkat is still shielding his eyes against the dying strains of the sunset. His shoulders are scrunched up so high that his cheeks disappear into his turtleneck.
No, actually, I don't get what's so great about it. I can see the same bullshit from the comfort of my house. Check it out, a giant billboard of Jake English complete with a gyrating mechanical ass. What a totally necessary thing to shove right into my gander bowl. Definitely couldn't have lived without seeing that.
Dude, okay, don't pretend you don't spend at least 15% of your day ogling Jake's ass on television anyway. In fact, you're doing it right now.
Well, I can't help it, Dave. It's right fucking there. Oh my god. The mechanical glutes on that billboard actually padded with plush to make them more lifelike?
Yeah, see, Craze fans kept climbing the billboards to cop a feel, so Dirk designed a second one of them to have an accurate recreation of Jake's butt density.
He did what?
It's wild, dude, it's like exactly spot on.
Wait, holy fuck. Have you actually touched Jake's ass?
I mean, not necessarily on purpose, but who hasn't? Like, I wouldn't say it's so much that I touch his ass, it's more like his ass copped a feel of my sweaty palm one time. My poor fingers haven't been the same since. Sometimes I wake up from a fevered sleep and find my reluctant groping hand huddled in a corner of my bed, all shaking and shit. The mind represses, but the body remembers. I thought about taking my hand to a psychologist, but I don't think the little guy is ready to talk about it yet. Anyway, have you seriously never touched it?
I haven't.
Not even by accident, like brushing by us in a crowded elevator?
No. I don't spend a lot of time standing in elevators with Jake fucking English. Or, for that matter, doing much of anything with the idiot. As you well know.
What I'm hearing is you tragically never touch his ass and it's a bit of a sore subject with you. Is that why you're so obsessed with it? Do you want to touch it? Shit can be arranged, my dude. Here, I'll text Dirk right now. I bet he can pencil you in to Copperfield sometime next week.
No, I don't run the fuck away. We are never having a play date with Dirk and Jake again. Especially not the arranged for the express purpose of assaulting one of them.
Dude, Jake lives for this shit. It's not assault if his ass is begging for it. Wait, wow, that sounded bad. Let's strike that one from the record. Anyway, it's no problem. He literally will be delighted to hear you want to spend time with him for some insane reason.
Stop texting right now.
Karkat tried to tear Dave's phone out of his hand, but Dave simply levitates several inches off the ground to hold it just out of jumping distance. Jade, pouting a bit, glides in between them and uses her space powers to teleport Dave's phone out from the center of his traumatized palm and into the pocket of her sweater.
Hey, can we focus here? Jake's ass isn't the one who should be talking about right now.
Oh my god, Jade. Do you ever fucking stop? I don't care about your ass either. I've seen it about as many times as I've seen Jake. The novelty is worn off, assuming there was even much to begin with.
Jade leers at the boy who may have just implied her ass was nothing to write home about. Her canines are longer and sharper than normal humans, making her grin
Can we
seem more...
pause the recording, please? I'm being bothered.
Okay. Making her grin seem more predatory in nature, especially when she wants it to be. Karkat shivers at the sight of it.
That's not what I'm talking about!
Jade grabs Karkat's right hand and then Dave's left one, and she begins to pull them toward each other. Both boys recoil, but she is much stronger than them. Jade, come on, what are you? She's doing it. She's making it happen.
This is a date, dummies! Oh, shit. She left. Oh, there it is.
Fucking kill myself, I swear to God. Fuck. Can Jade please reread before I fucking throw something?
This is a date, dummies!
No, stop!
Dude. Karkat makes a fist so tight that his nubby fingernails pinch his skin. Dave does the opposite. He makes a flat palm and raises it as if to stop traffic.
No, let me show you. You have to turn it flipwise.
She turns Dave's hand so that it's cupping Karkat's angry little fist in his palm. When she pries Karkat's fingers open finally, they snap closed around Dave's almost automatically. Karkat's eyes go a little light bulb-like. Dave's gone pale and a bit sweaty. Jade claps, makes a rectangle with her thumbs and forefingers, framing her hand-holding besties at the center of it. She's taking a picture with her brain right now. Dave and Karkat being all shy and intimate with a romantic backdrop of a brilliant twilight behind them. A pretty portrait, but her in the middle of it, and it's a work of art. Just what she wants the rest of her life to be. After all, where would these two pitiful beta boys be without her?
I don't mind at all. I would never try to break up what you two have. I'm just trying to make it better.
With a satisfied smile, Jade dips under their arms and hooks her hand around either waist, pulling Dave and Karkat up flush against her. Their fingers remain entwined behind her back. She begins walking them down the ridge of the hill, beaming brighter than the first stars in the sky.
See, isn't this perfect? It could be like this all the time, you know? The three of us in every combination, or whatever combination you two are comfortable with. Positions too.
Dave has gone catatonic. Karkat's just as quiet, but it's a quiet that's as loud as alarmed as his actual voice. He's got his head turned away from the situation he's been forced into, as far as it will go. He's concentrating so hard on looking elsewhere that he trips over a rock and is only saved by Jade picking the three of them off the ground as she takes flight. Karkat's legs flail when his feet go out from under him.
Ah! Don't do that! You know I fucking hate that!
Jade sets him back on the ground, cackling like the witch she is. Karkat still won't look at her. She stops laughing abruptly, sensing that her plan isn't going as well as she'd hoped. She views the two boys as a broken electrical circuit and herself as a conductor between the two charged points. She just needs to maneuver it into the correct configuration, like she did with their hands. She does a few quick calculations in her head, refusing to give up on her assumption that relationship issues can be solved the same way math problems can.
Don't worry, Karkat. There's nothing to be scared of. We'll take care of you, right, Dave?
Dave doesn't answer. She answers for him by leaning down and planting a dry, affectionate kiss on Karkat's cheek. He yelps and leaps away like he's been scalded by a burning iron, liberating himself from the deeply uncomfortable hug triad.
Okay, that's it. I am drawing the fucking line in the sand right here and now, Jade. You will seize this endless violation of my persons with your mouth, fingers, and occasionally your fucking tail. I am not a piece of meat that you can brutally and viciously molest whenever you're bored.
Brutally and viciously? Huh?
Alright, it's possible I'm overreacting, but that's my fucking right as a free and anonymous person with a certain degree of fundamental bodily sovereignty endowed to him by the gods of motherfucking consent. But I hope you understand what I'm getting at here, which is that I want you to stop doing shit like kissing me without asking permission first.
Karkat, you're absolutely right. And I couldn't agree more with your issues of consent, as everyone who's gotten to know me well enough is perfectly aware. But I'm not the one who kissed you, silly.
What?
Jade covers her mouth coquettishly and winks.
It was Dave!
Dave turns around, shoulders going rigid, and eyes popping open like he's just awakened from one of the terrible sweaty nightmares he was projecting onto his hand earlier. What?
You kissed Karkat, finally!
No, I didn't. Why would I? Dave hesitates. Jade is giddy with anticipation. She couldn't possibly look more pleased by her own handiwork. I have no idea what you're talking about. I would never. You're whack, Jade. I'm not.
Whack?
Why would I kiss Karkat? I've never even once thought about kissing Karkat. How do we even fucking do it? He's so petite.
I'm what?
You're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna admit that was kind of a weird thing to say, and has got dick all to do with your kissability.
God damn it, can we stop talking about this yet?
What I mean is, like, how could somebody kiss this guy, like anybody, when his teeth are so...
When my teeth are so fucking what?
Dude, they're just like they're huge and not always in your mouth. So like, how would a guy get his tongue in there?
Tongue?
Karkat begins hyperventilating and momentarily forgets to speak with Jade long enough to lean on her to prevent himself from toppling over. You'd have to be really careful, like, I mean, if you were intending to kiss Karkat, I mean, it's not like I put any force into this. You'd have to be so careful, like, just so totally gentle in your approach to it because he's so...
Enough! Seize! I command you!
You know, like this. I don't know, I'm just spitballing, and this is literally the first time the force has like, ever popped in my head. But upon earnest reflection, I don't know if I'm up to the task. Dave's mouth hangs open a bit. His gaze flits from Karkat to Jade and back again. His palms are wet, but his mouth is dry. I'm not I was not. We're not. Dave's mumbling protest slows to a stop. Actually, you know what? I don't have time for this. Peace, dudes. Dave ollies the fuck out of there, flash stepping between 1 second to the next, disappearing 30 seconds in the future with a gusto of a piece of garbage flying into the fucking sun. Jade stares after him, blinking at the glare of the afterroom she left behind. It's a glimmering slice of ultraviolet that only she can see. It lingers in the unstable particles between the air. She huffs and puts her hands on her hips.
Wow, rude? I forget sometimes how immature Dave can be. Well, Karkat, I guess it's just us. Do you still want to go split a plateau of grub spaghetti at the noodle barn?
Karkat, when she turns to address him, is staring at her slack-jawed. He takes a step back, but isn't watching where he puts his foot. His heel goes into a dip in the hill and he goes stumbling backwards, feet overhead.
Ah, fuck! Jade, what? You fuck! Ouch! A little help? Maybe.
Jade could probably catch him. Actually, she could easily do it, but it doesn't seem like the kind of favour you should do in a fledgling cosmeticitude. So instead, she watches him roll all the way to the foot of the hill, knees and elbows bouncing all around, ragdolled and furious as he swears up a storm. He hits the ground back first and just lays there for a few minutes, completely owned. He watches the darkening sky with a hollow look on his face for at least an entire minute. Then, he slowly pulls himself to his feet and brushes the brambles off his pants. He points up the hill at Jade and shouts.
For the record, just so we're both clear, this is why I hate leaving the fucking house.
He absconds, limping a little and rubbing the left side of his ass, which, unfortunately for him, affords nowhere near the level of padding as Jake's legendary backside. Jade puffs out both of her cheeks and stares after him.
Well, I guess I'm eating grub spaghetti alone, again!
You want me to be Terezi too in the next page?
Yes.
Where even are you? Haven't you sliced Makara in half yet?
He smells too bad. I don't think I want to risk getting that close to him until he takes a bath. Even then, I'd rather not. As for where I am, I'm not sure you would believe me if I told you.
I bet I would.
Okay, I'm honored.
LOL.
Don't LOL me.
I can't help it. It's hilarious. Who do you want to date with?
Why don't you take a guess?
Okay, it's obviously Roxy.
Oh,
What's wrong now? You asked me to guess, so I guess.
I'm just wondering if I was really that obvious.
Yeah, John. We are not idiots. We can do we can all do the math on this. It's not like you were going to fuck your human mom, human sister. And you are not a homosexual, which takes Strider dick out of the equation. And Kanai is the only girl troll left, and she's lesbian married. One of the two remaining eligible human females. Oh, and Jake is a double threat. A human dad with a human dick. I don't like that. By the process of elimination, of course you were going to fall in love with Roxy. I'm so uncomfortable just reading that.
Wait.
Love? Is that how John feels about Roxy? He glances around at this beautiful restaurant she's taken him to. Marble walls, a domed ceiling, alien plants growing like the scaffolding to the second floor. It's lit by a cobweb of ultra-thin clear wire strung with light so that it looks like there are fireflies suspended above in the fake night sky. It's a good place to fall in love, probably. He turns his head to see that Gamzee has stepped outside, and now monitors a date with his face pressed up against the window. He's smearing his disgusting makeup against the glass without the slightest concern for propriety. John accidentally makes eye contact with him, and Gamzee gives him a thumbs up. A chill runs down John's spine, so he goes back to his conversation with Terezi.
I'm waiting. Still waiting. Egbert, are you there, or can I go now?
Yeah, I just had to think about that for a second. Do you really think I'm in love with her?
How the hell would I know that? I'm not a mind reader.
Oh, aren't you? I thought that's what your mind thingy power.
No, I'm just exceptionally good at reading, at the read of people. Fucking can't. Not that I would have to, be to tell that you've been flushed for Roxy since you met her.
Yeah, I guess that's true. How do you think she feels about it?
If you're on a date with her, I don't think I'm the one that you should be asking that question.
I mean, would that be okay? An okay thing to ask her? That seems kind of, I don't know.
John, I hate to tell you this, but there's not much you could do at this point to increase your dopiness attribute. You've already pretty much maxed out the dork stat, and I can only imagine that the positive correlation between your continued existence and the amount of sheer dweebiness you admit has retained expected equilibrium in the time that I've been gone.
Geez, you always know what to say to people when they're are of need, Terezi. So glad I decided to talk to you.
You should be glad. I'm doing you a big favor as usual. The seer magnanimously descended from her mountain and designing to give the hapless human perilous advice.
Imagine me rolling my eyes super hard right now, because that's what I'm doing.
Noted. But trust me, the worst thing you can do when attempting a relationship is be evasive. Roxy is actually incredibly difficult to read, and I think she's the last person who would ever try to jerk you around. She'll appreciate you being upfront. The only thing I wonder is what happened with Calliope. They seemed so happy.
Yeah, that's been bothering me too. Callie was actually the one who convinced me to stay. Roxy was all over me the moment I said I wasn't going.
Going where?
Oh, to fight out Florida English?
You were supposed to fight Lord English,
Yeah, I guess.
but you just decided not to?
Look, it's a long story. Actually, it's not. But that's why I texted you. I'll tell you some other time. Right now, what I think I need to figure out is how I feel about the whole Calliope thing. I'm not afraid to ask Roxy how she feels about me, I guess. But I think that I'm afraid to ask about.
Roxy finally comes back to the restroom. He hears her heels click-clacking on the floor and shoves his phone into his pocket in a panic before he can follow up on the last line of his message. He doesn't know why he does this in a panic. It's not like he's doing anything wrong. In fact, tapping away on your phone when someone leaves you alone at the table is completely and totally normal. Maybe it's just that it's kind of weird to be talking to a girl on the table while on a date with a completely different girl, no matter what his respective relationships with those two girls might be. His maternal Rose voice tusks at him for having such a gender-essentialist thought. He wonders if he'd feel quite as guilty if he were talking to Rose under the table instead of Terezi. Probably not, which is a whole tangle of stuff he doesn't even want to think about. He shoots Roxy a big bright grin when she slips into her seat. She grins back. He is genuinely glad to be here. Roxy is beautiful. The restaurant is beautiful. He feels like he's fumbling at something essentially beautiful here. But there's something about the way she's looking at him that makes him glad he got out of bed today. It makes him, for the first time in years, excited about the idea that the future is a thing that exists.
Sorry for taking so long. I had to reapply the face, how it is. Actually, you probably don't, but let me tell you, makeup's a bitch.
Roxy, you don't have to do that for me. I'm basically a scrub these days. I don't care if you wear makeup or not. You're pretty either way. You know that, right?
Oh, don't worry. It's not for you, lol. But that's sweet as hell. I appreciate the sentiment.
Oh, that's cool. Why do you need it then?
John, do you ever think about, gender?
Not really, I guess. But I don't think girls should feel like they have to wear makeup because they're girls.
Lol, that's not what I'm getting at.
What do you mean then? Are you like,
Like what?
I don't know. I don't really know what we're talking.
Well, I don't really know either, I guess. New way, we don't gotta get super into this now. This isn't really this setting. I don't know if you noticed, but this place is way too fancy for me, LMFAO. I was all trying to impress you with how I'm classy as fuck, but Now I feel like we're gonna have to skip out on the check.
Even though we've gotten infinite money?
Yeah, I just a feeling I get. Like this fancy dress is a costume, and like I'm just play acting at being a grown-up woman.
Yeah, I know that feeling. We even are adults.
Good question.
When I was a kid, I just thought adulthood was something that happened to you automatically, I think. Like the moment I turned 18, a briefcase would appear in my hand. It had it all figured out, just like my dad seemed to. I just can't believe I'm 23 and still a huge loser. I wonder if my dad ever thought that way about himself. Like he was just some big dumb kid, totally messing everything up, but trying to keep the appearances anyway.
Don't say that about yourself, dummy.
Yeah, so I'm a dummy, but I shouldn't call myself.
Oh my god, you know what I meant.
Roxy runs one of her thin fingers around the inside rim of her water glass. It makes a very quiet squeaking noise that you can hear over the mumbled conversation around him because they're sitting so very close. Her lashes look about twice as long in the low pale light. They shadow her eyes so that he can't read her expression.
You know, I didn't even know any adults when I was a kid. So I got nothing to accept the legends of how my universe rolls and Dave died, I guess. But that's not exactly a useful example in this situation.
I don't know. I think sacrificing yourself to take down a brutal clown dictatorship is a pretty good life sentence to internalize in any situation.
Well, yeah, God forbid. I mean, my idea of a date for the longest time was drinking a whole bottle of wine along while crying in front of my laptop screen.
Oh, same. Actually, minus the wine and the computer screen. Haha.
Just you and your brain contemplating the infinite loneliness of a singular consciousness in a vast, cold universe.
Something like that. So I guess neither of us are very good at this?
That's cool with me. Zero expectations means we got nowhere to go but up.
I'll toast to that.
John lit his glass as a cute and cliche thing to do, expecting no reciprocation. But she laughs and actually humours him. The glasses clink together clumsily and water gets all over the complimentary breadsticks. She starts laughing harder.
Oh, John, why didn't we do this sooner? I love spending time with you. You know, it's weird to say, but no one else has ever made me feel happy like this.
For some reason, those words make the piston's stomach grow. He lets out a nervous giggle. His arm starts to shake so violently that he gets even more water on the free breadsticks. Hoo boy, he's sweating under the collar. It's a panic, like what he felt Roxy almost caught him texting Terezi under the table, except in reverse. What about Calliope, he thinks. John can't tell what Roxy is thinking. She's so warm and open and inviting, but when John looks into her eyes, it's almost like staring into a void.
Oh, what the fuck? Look behind you.
He whips his head around to see Dave. He's running down the street, looking back and forth like a hunted man. He spots John and freezes for a moment, obviously trying to compose himself. No one quite goes still quite like a strider. He brushes past Gamzee, who is still glued to the window to spy on the date, and swaggers into the restaurant. The look on his face seems to suggest he's about to throw up, but he keeps it together. His entrance is so smooth that all the dining carapacians in the vicinity immediately stop talking and stare at him as he glides to the table. Dave sets his hand just in front of the three breadsticks and angles a look at John through the panels of his shades. It looks like he hasn't slept, but it's hard to tell with Dave. He's out of breath. Hey dude, and Roxy, hey dudes. Sorry to imply that dude wasn't a gender neutral term because it totally is. Anyone can be a dude if they really want. That's part of the beauty of living in this brand new world with none of the baggage of our old world had, like gender and sexuality and relationships, only involving a very specific number of people.
Dave, you okay?
Yeah, totally, when I'm not okay.
Pee often, actually.
Nah, I'm fine. There's absolutely nothing strange or awkward going on in my life at all. Unrelated to anything I just said. John, I gotta talk to you for a sec.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I mean like outside, in private, with no one else around.
You sure you're okay?
Yeah, Mum, I'm fine. Sorry, that was just me being sarcastic about how you're all worried about over me when I'm just ice fucking cold levels of cool at the moment. Not referencing that you're literally my mum, which I know is all kinds of awkward every single time I do it, which is a lot, I guess.
Lamau, I don't think it's awkward at all.
Oh, cool. Me neither, mum.
Roxy's alright. You seem kind of off right now.
Nah, I just had a sudden need for a bro down. Just an unquenchable thirst to be showered in a flash storm of righteous bro juice.
Yikes.
Gotta guzzle the shit out of it like Gatorade after a sports match. Help me out here, my bro electrolytes are low. John, just come on, it's important.
Yeah, sure. Roxy, are you fine waiting here by yourself for a little?
Yeah, I'll just be here eating breadsticks since we didn't actually order dinner.
Cool. I'll be right back.
Dave shoves his hands in his pockets and leads John out into the cool evening air. Gamzee offers a double thumbs up as they walk past him, which John fiercely ignores. John does, however, check his phone. Sussly, but a little desperately. He left Terezi hanging in the middle of a sentence, and he's got to admit, as much fun as he's been having with Roxy, there's an annoying little voice screaming at him underneath everything he's done and said tonight that desperately needs to know what else Terezi had to say. Behind Dave's back as he leads the way, John swiped the screen to catch up with her answers, smiling conspirationally. Dave grabs the sleeve of John's tux in his sweaty palm, and the two of them fly up to the top of the nearest tower. John glances at him en route, and the look on Dave's face strikes him as that of a man condemned to death. The stars stand out along the skyline, so bright in his new world that the outline of every constellation is crisp and clear, even in the middle of the city. Dave cups his hands over his knees and stares straight ahead. Yo, John, what do you think about me and Karkat?
You two are pretty cute together, I guess?
Together? I need you to be way more specific here.
Oh, okay. I guess I'd have to say that you're both cute individually when you're with each other. And you make cute friends, which is why you're cute together. Something about it just works. I feel like I'm saying cute a lot here. For the record, I don't mean you're cute as an individual. No offense. Alone, you're just Dave. But together, yeah, you guys are cute.
Together, you mean like
Alone, you're just
a
Dave.
couple? Dave says this so neutrally that John has no idea how to read it, despite having years of practice reading Dave's many neutral tones.
Yes, that's exactly what I meant.
Why?
Didn't I just explain it? Good friends are good partners. You're similar in all the right ways, but indifferent in all even the more ways. You two balance each other out and keep each other from going off the rails, like when you were kids.
Huh.
You were both kind of crazy when we were kids. Again, no.
That's not what I was saying hot about.
Oh.
I was saying hard because that sure was a coherent Bertrand thesis on the state of the Dave Cat situation.
Well, I thought about it that way for a long time. I think it's what everyone else thinks.
I don't know. If I'd have been thinking about it that way, I wouldn't be in the mess I'm in right now.
You're in a mess?
Yeah, there's a metric fucking ton of shit about to come down on me because I dragged my heels on doing some serious self-reflection.
Is this just some more stuff about...
Maybe yeah? Okay, definitely yeah. It's 110% about being gay.
I thought you'd already worked all that.
Turns out it takes a long time to figure out your sexuality after a childhood filled with repression and abuse.
Dave.
I mean, yeah, I worked the hell up to my inner potential for gayness in a big way, but then I just kind of pressed the snooze button and rolled back over because we kind of had to fight all these jacks and also create society.
Holy fucking shit. There's a gay snooze.
Yeah, man, there's a gay snooze button.
Wow.
When I was having my gay cool boy awakening, it wasn't a full no homo, but it was at least a quarter no homo. If I hadn't done that then instead of talking to you about this, I'd be at home right now, kissing Karkat probably.
I don't get this, Dave. Am I your gay confessor or something? You don't need my blessing to go kiss Karkat. In fact, I was pretty sure you were already kissing.
Nope.
In that case, as Lord Pope of Dave's Holy Awakened Gaydom, I give you my blessing to immediately leave and rectify that as soon as possible. Go now, my child, and kiss Karkat right on the lip.
Okay, as much as I appreciate how weird a thing that was to say, it's not that simple.
It might not be I might not exactly be the expert, but kissing seems pretty easy, Dave. I'm sure it gets more complicated in the later stages, obviously, but I think you can figure out how to get your lips on his without much trouble.
No, I mean, like, Dave makes the couple truly use his hand gestures. In the greater fabric of our weird incestuous social group, it might be the wrong move, I think.
How so?
Because Jade. John bites his lip. Oh boy, that's a complicated problem, alright. He loves his sister, but she's developed a bad habit of sometimes approaching delicate social situations with all the grace of an elephant stumbling around in a dark room.
Right, I almost managed to forget that she was trying to fuck you and Karkat.
Dave snaps his head around to stare at John in shock. Wait, you knew about that?
Yeah, did you not?
Of course I knew about it. I was looking at the whole thing through several complicated layers of conscious denial, but I knew. It's just that you, like, never leave your house.
Well, it probably helps that Jade literally said the words to me. And I'm maybe paraphrasing here, but hey, John, I'm gonna fuck Dave and Karkat.
What the fuck, she said that to you? What did you say?
I don't know, it was a while ago. Probably that it was a bad idea. But I thought it was kind of obvious. She's always had a crush on.
Yeah, I know. He sighs and hangs his head, leaning forward with his elbows crossed over his thighs. The angle he's at gives John a good look at his eyes, which are boring a deep, miserable hole through the center of the earth right now. That's why I think I should give it a try, I guess.
Give her a try. Dating Jade?
Yeah, and Karkat.
Oh man, Dave, I don't know. That sounds like it could really blow up in your face.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of freaking out right now, if you didn't notice.
Sorry, dude. Do you even like Jade?
Of course I do, she's one of my best friends.
No, I meant, do you like?
Oh my god, John, you're 23 years old, can you at least pretend to talk like a grown man?
Okay, Dave, God. Are you in love with Jade?
Dave doesn't answer. His silence says a lot, John thinks.
Are you in love with Karkat?
That's a big fucking question. That's the biggest fucking question anyone ever got asked. It's like the Paleolithic megafauna of questions. Like, it's so familiar, but your eye just glaze over its denial because it's too fucking big. Why did megalodon sharks need to have such big jaws, John?
To eat smaller sharks?
I'd never been so fucking terrified by a question my entire life. Seriously, my head is pounding so hard right now that I feel like I'm gonna hurl.
Well, doesn't that answer the question?
Nah, because it's not like I feel nothing for Jade. In fact, I feel a whole lot of things for her. Too many to just tell her off after all this time. I mean, she spent all those years alone on the ship, and I know she missed me. And then Daysprite died, or turned into fucking Daypeda. I was never clear exactly on what happened there. And God knows he didn't make any attempt to clear the fucking air with her. But when I think about it, neither did I. So maybe I'm just a huge asshole who's been leading her on for like a whole goddamn decade at this point. And if I have been, don't I owe it to her to at least try?
If that's your logic, Dave, then you haven't been leading Karkat on too? Doesn't he deserve the same chance? I mean, if you think it's the kind of decision you can lay on another person like this, why don't you just flip a coin?
He tilts his face so he can give John a look. The corner of his lip quirks ambiguously. Have you been talking to Terezi?
Um,
Damn, I thought she ghosted everyone.
Not me, I guess.
Huh. Anyway, I know you thought that sounded like a totally cool thing to say, but I don't think you really grasp the full metaphysical implications of whatever you're quoting there. Dave sits up and leans back on his palms, his voice sounding lighter in a subtle, almost a firmer way now that the subject's changed to something as easy as metaphysics. He catches John's gaze and makes a rolling gesture with his hand, miming the way a practicing magician would flick a coin over their thumb. Do you know what a coin flip is? Like, university, I mean, in the grand scale of all this time-space infinite string theory bullshit we're always dealing with.
Of course, it's like when you know that you've already made a decision you're working about and you an outside force to show you how you really feel.
No, dude, that's dumb. You should know this because you've done the retcon thing.
What does that have to do with flipping coin?
Okay, so every time you flip a coin, you're creating an alternate timeline, right? One where it lands heads and one where it lands tails. But while the coin is flipping, both possibilities exist simultaneously.
But if you knew for sure you'd make the same decision no matter what side landed.
You can't.
So it's like the coin never lands.
Sure.
Then if you did both Jade and Karkat, it'd be like you're winning this Granger's Cats paradox.
Yeah, that's another theoretical paradox that I think you gotta read up on a bit more on there, buddy.
I probably won't, but okay.
Fair enough. But yes, metaphysics aside, me dating both Jade and Karkat at the same time literally is the issue at hand, and this is that with which I currently and explicitly struggle.
Yeah, it sure seems that way.
So,
I don't know, Dave. That's all just, it doesn't sound right.
John thinks about the speech Rose gave him that morning on the couch about canon veracity and the validity or non-validity of subjective actions the further they get away from the intended sequence of events. Something about pillars? What is essential, true, and relevant? He remembers those three words, but no other contextual marks which bind them. That conversation seems so very long ago now.
I mean, it doesn't sound canon.
Ugh, not you two. Rose is always going on about canon. I don't give a fuck about canon.
Then what do you...
Dave sighs and runs a hand through his hair. Doing the right thing, I guess.
This doesn't seem hard to me at all, Dave. Go home right now and tell Kaka how you...
Look, I can't. If I did that, it would be like...
Like what, Dave? Like you would be really happy and Kaka would also be really...
I'm not explaining myself right. I need to... Dave staggers uneasily to his feet, staring way past John like he's looking into the infinity of his own soul right now. John's never seen him so scared, and it's over what seems like a pretty easy choice as far as John's concerned. It sure isn't easy for him, though. John guesses this is what it means to be a friend. It means a guy who understands when easy isn't actually that easy. I have to talk to Dirk, I think. Oh.
Okay.
John wonders when talking to Dirk has fixed anything for anyone. He's about to ask what exactly it is he needs to talk to Dirk about, but then he remembers what he saw when he backed to fetch Gamzee's fridge in a medium. Dirk and Dave hugging on the edge of the roof, sharing something private and mysterious, the sort of thing that can only happen between two people whose personalities are cracked in the same way. It's not something John's ever had, so it's not something he can understand. An uncomfortable silence lingers between the two of them. Before John can fill it with some stupid words, he hears Roxy calling out to him from below. He pops his head over the roof and waves at her.
What's up?
Yo, boys, not to interrupt, but we got kicked out of the restaurant for not ordering.
What? Really? What's even the point of being famous if that can happen?
Lamau, I know, right? I told you I wasn't classy enough for the joint. I got all these breadsticks, though, so we can reconvene in the park. Tell it's romantic. 10 minutes, what do you say?
It sounds good. I'll see you there soon.
She grins up at John with shimmering, adoring eyes. They're reflecting every star in the sky, all for him. It makes his heart do a weird somersault. It tries to flip front ways and backwards and ends up landing on its face instead. He's feeling too many contradictory things like that right now. When he turns to look at Dave again, he's practically translucent. Barely there, half out the door emotionally. John feels like he could have done more, like this whole conversation with sand running through his fingers. It itches at the back of his head, the idea that he might have just fucked up Dave's entire life.
I'm sorry I couldn't help.
Nah, dude, it's not your fault. Dave gives him a light bro punch in the arm and tries to smile. Enjoy your date.